Hello, I'm Jordan Savidis, a Global CISO Advisor. I'm here today with Integrator Media to share my insights and my expertise about the cybersecurity threat landscape in the region.
Jordan, you have 28 years of experience in the IT and cybersecurity world. Tell me what attracted you to this field and what is your passion for this field?
First of all, I would like to thank you for your kind invitation today. Yes, it's a very exciting field. It's been a long journey since 23 years ago when I was appointed by the General Manager of Alpha Bank Cyprus as the IT Security Officer of Alpha Bank Cyprus. IT security was something completely new to everyone. I was chosen because I had a very strong background in communications, network engineering, and a master's degree from Imperial College of Science and Medicine in London. So back then, everything started with network security. Unless you secured the network, you had nothing, because at the end of the day, the hackers back then and still today, they penetrate the network. It was a long journey. I created the IT security and information security departments from scratch, starting with network security, application security, vulnerability management, risk management, until I was promoted to the CISO, and then I continued my career abroad, as you're aware.
Jordan, that's an interesting career. What do you think are the most significant cybersecurity challenges that organizations today face, especially in the banking and the financial sector?
I think it is well known to everyone that the cyber threat landscape is growing exponentially on a daily basis at alarming rates, and as well as the associated cyber attack surface and the cyber attack vectors. The organizations these days face huge challenges, probably the most difficult challenges ever faced before in cybersecurity, because all organizations, especially the financial sector and the banking sector, are under a lot of pressure to complete their digital transformation journeys that started more than 5 years ago. So digital transformation puts immense pressure on the organizations, and unfortunately, it puts immense pressure on cybersecurity as well. Because whether we like it or not, cybersecurity always comes last. The priority is to create revenue, to create profitability for the organization. So it is very difficult for cybersecurity and the CISO to keep in line and with the speed of digital transformation. So it is very important for the CISOs to be vigilant and alert, to implement solid cybersecurity strategies and in cybersecurity governance in their organizations, in order to embed security, what we call security by design, embed security in the culture of the organization, and ensure that all new projects, systems, and applications are handled by the security team at the initial conception and design, and not at the end. So digital transformation creates a lot of challenges. The cloud exposure. I always say cloud is a blessing, but if the risk is not managed correctly, it could prove to be a curse, because cloud generates risk. Yes, we need to embrace the cloud. The cloud offers agility, flexibility, scalability, expandability. However, we put our trust in the cloud service provider, the CSP, and this is why all the CSPs call it share responsibility model. Therefore, we need to take the generated cyber risks from our cloud exposure very seriously and ensure we mitigate those risks. And last but not least, APIs, open banking. Open banking is also a blessing, but because obviously it creates opportunities for the banks and the financial sector to grow and increase their revenue and profitability. However, it increases the attack surface and the attack vectors. And this is where application security comes in as well, where more organizations are not mature enough yet. Therefore, API and open banking is also something that must be taken very seriously by the banking and financial sector, and that risk must also be tackled wisely.
Jordan, you as a global CISO, Global CISO Advisory, you have transitioned into broader advisory roles now. Could you explain us what the shift is all about and what approach has changed right now in your current role?
Thank you for that question. It's true, after 28 years working as a CISO in the banking sector, I believe now it's time for me to offer global CISO advisory services and give back to the cybersecurity community and to the global financial institutions globally. The reason is I'm able to see security 360. I'm able to see cybersecurity from the top because I was given the opportunity to start as an IT security engineer and grow all the way to a senior executive CISO. It is very important for a CISO to have a very strong technical background because at the end of the day, we do use technology to mitigate the risk. Yes, risk management, governance are also very important. But I believe a CISO, to be mature enough, needs to grow from the bottom all the way to the top. And I was lucky enough to do that. So I'm able to see the risk 360, and I'm able to work in any organization and advise the CEO and the board how they should build their cybersecurity strategy, their cybersecurity program, align it to their risk appetite, because it is very important for the cybersecurity program to be aligned to the risk appetite of the organization. And at the end of the day, it's very important to be aligned to the business objectives of the organization to be successful.
Thank you for the information, Jordan. Now let me ask you, what do you think the initiatives at National Bank of Fujairah and Alpha Group Bank and National Bank of Bahrain you have undertaken? Could you tell me what were the strategies that you implemented back then in those organizations?
Absolutely. In all organizations I have worked for, I strongly believed that cybersecurity it's a continuous improvement. We need to adopt a cyclic effort. If anyone tells you cybersecurity is a project, they're destined to fail. So in all organizations, I implemented the well-known adaptive security architecture of predict, prevent, detect, respond, which relies on ongoing monitoring and analytics. It is very important to be able to predict the attack so we can focus our funds and resources where it matters most, what we call risk-based approach. It is also very important to prevent the attack, which we are doing every day successfully. If we don't prevent the attack, we need to be able to detect it and respond to it. So the predict, prevent, detect, respond is what I've implemented successfully in all my organizations. The other pillar was the ISO 27001, the Information Security Management System. It is very important for all organizations to have a solid information security governance framework, well-documented and executed information security policies, procedures, guidelines, and standards. So these are the two main pillars I have already had as my priority in all my organizations. Plus, of course, restructuring the perimeter network security architecture, closing the security loopholes, ensuring we minimize our entry points, minimizing the third-party risk, now minimizing the cloud risk. It's a never-ending story with cybersecurity.
It's a never-ending story with cybersecurity. So my last question for before we close the interview. Tell me about your continued passion about cybersecurity, and also how do you see the constant evolution of AI, IoT, and cloud technologies, and how do you see these developments shaping the future of probably the cybersecurity landscape of this part of the world?
My continued passion for cybersecurity is derived by the fact that I believe I'm doing one of the most challenging and most rewarding professions in the world. Yes, it can be very stressful at times, but at the end of the day, we are very important to not just the cybersecurity community, also to the business community and the humankind itself, because at the end of the day, unless you protect your ID these days, because now everything is about identity management. The experts say identity is a new perimeter. We are all digital, right? You got your smartphone, everything is on your smartphone. If we don't make people aware of the cyber risks and what identity theft and fraud can cause to the individual, so I believe we are giving back to the community as a whole. So this is what is driving me. Also, as you said before, coming from a very strong banking and financial sector for 28 years, I believe it's time for me to give back to the community with my Global CISO Advisory services. And in recent years, especially the last 5 or 10 years, cyber AI, which I'm a huge fan of, as everyone knows that follow me on LinkedIn, cyber AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, is the future, and it's still growing, it's still maturing. We all need to embrace cyber AI because it will strengthen our predictive, preventive, and responsive pillars we talked about before. And our detective as well, because cyber AI and unsupervised machine learning is the only revolutionary technology that can detect the unknown attack, the unknown threat, that needle in the haystack that we are all striving for. Because unfortunately, the cyber criminals are always one step ahead. So we need to fight them back with cyber AI and ML. So these are the main reasons that I'm still passionate, and I will always be passionate about what I do.